Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You got to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio with you and me. And we appreciate being here on the dial. We do. Ever applied for a mortgage? Dino says no. Sometimes this could happen if you're just applying for a loan. When you apply for a mortgage, they have something called a FICO score. F-I-C-O, FICO. I forget what FICO stands for. It doesn't matter. Here's how it works. What they do is they take all kinds of aspects of your financial life. Do you ever file for bankruptcy? How many credit cards do you have? How much debt do you have? How many claims do you file on your homeowner's insurance? How long have you been at your job? How long have you been at the current address? Blah, blah, blah. And what they do is they assign a score to each element of your financial life. And in order to determine whether you get a mortgage, and in some cases, I believe, a loan, they tally up all these totals, and then they come up with a grand total called your FICO score. And that score is so critical. It, determines your whole financial life. It really does. You can get online and find out your FICO score, and if you were ever thinking of buying a house, I really recommend you do this. But that's not what I'm here to talk about this hour. I brought it up for a reason. If you know what a FICO score is, if you know that the people deciding whether or not you're going to borrow large sums of money are looking at the entire picture, and they add it all up, if you know that, then you're going to understand what I'm about to talk about, which has nothing to do with money at all. At all. Just the way they have this process, this procedure for figuring out whether or not they're going to give you the mortgage on the house, I believe people have a scoring system to determine whether or not they want to be in a relationship with somebody else. Now, it's not written down. There's no numbers that appear in a data bank anywhere. You couldn't call TransUnion or Equifax, or you can't call any of these companies that maintain credit reports. But can I tell you something? We do it. We look at a variety of factors, and if there was a I'm trying to think of how I want to say this, because I want to get it exactly right. Put it this way. I'm going to try another tack here. Even though this isn't written down, I think in our minds, we score people. And some people get higher scores in some areas and lower scores in other areas. And the person with the highest total score is the person we decide we want to spend, well, if not our lives with, because you know how often we get divorced in this society, that's the person we want to have a so-called permanent relationship with. So let me demonstrate to you, if they had FICO scores for relationships, okay, here's how it goes. You would be scored on how much money you make. You would be scored on what kind of occupation you have. You would be scored on what you look like. You would be scored on how large your breasts are, how large your member is. You would be scored on whether you went to college or not. You'd be scored on what zip code you live in. You'd be scored on what kind of car you drive. You would be scored on how honest you are, how faithful you are. You would be scored on how good you are in bed. You would be scored on what sex acts you're willing to perform and not. You'd be scored on whether you want to have kids, what kind of a parent you would make. Just like they have that FICO score for your mortgage where they add up all the elements of your financial life and they come up with a total. That's kind of what we do when we decide who we want to be with. We look at the whole package and we score. We score it out. And the person with the most points is the person we want to be with. And the reason I bring this up is this. It is my belief that because we score all of these elements, I believe that sometimes when you're in a relationship, or when you want to be in a permanent relationship with somebody, you will accept lower scores in some areas. For example, your banker might accept you've only been on your job 2 years if you made $500,000 a year. Your banker, in considering whether you get a mortgage, might consider accepting you. You've made too many claims on your homeowner's insurance, but you also pay all your bills on time. So you see, they'll accept compromises in certain areas, okay? If you score high in every area, but you stink in one area, they might overlook that. Maybe everything is right. Maybe you pay all your bills on time. Maybe you have a great job. Maybe you live in the right zip code. But maybe you had one bill that was 90 days late 3 years ago. They'll accept certain compromises, certain areas, certain issues. They'll accept. And I believe that's true in relationships. And let me tell you what I'm getting at here. There are many people, and we talk to them all the time, especially guys, okay? Many people who so badly want to get into a relationship. They so badly want to be with one person or one particular person that they kind of look at the whole picture. And even though somebody might come up lacking in a particular area, let's say for a guy, breast size, okay? Let's say you are with somebody who is a 32 double A. She is as flat as a board, all right? But she can cook, and she will clean, and she will do anything in bed, and she's a spinner, and she will serve your every need, and she will let you watch football on Sunday, and she'll leave you alone, and she's like one of the guys. You know what? You'll overlook that. You'll live without it. Maybe you'll look at Playboy once in a while, all right? Or maybe you'll go to the Internet and look at women with large breasts, pictures of them. But because somebody comes up with high scores in so many areas, you might be willing to live without something. Maybe you like blondes, and the woman you're with is a brunette, okay? But she scores high in so many other areas, all right? She makes your favorite Wiener Schnitzel and knows how to make it well, right? She doesn't expect you to pay for everything. She doesn't want to have kids just like you don't want to have kids. So you might tolerate the fact she's not a blonde. Because you look at the total score, okay? You look at how she scores in every area, and you say, well, there's one area where she's woefully deficient. There's one area where she comes up really short. But you know what? The other one, she scores so high, the point total is so high, you know what? I'm going to live without that. Now, here's why I bring this up. Ladies, I think I'm primarily talking to you. Ladies, I think that many times you date one kind of guy. We talk about how women date jerks. And we talk about how the guy you're with now is never the best you've ever had in bed. Never. Never. Somebody else was better. Somebody else was better than the guy you're with today. Ladies, think about it for a second. Picture that guy's face. Think about it. The guy who is better than the man you're with now. You know what he looks like. You remember the nights you spent with him. You remember him cracking your ass and effing you hard and tearing your clothes off, and he was just, he looked great, he smelled great, he got the job done over and over. You screamed and yelped, you woofed like a dog, wow, wow, wow. You just kept barking and screaming and dripping all over the place, and it was so great. But the guy scored so low in all the other areas. Lousy job, never gonna amount to anything, too young, doesn't want to have kids, right? The guy's completely irresponsible, has a criminal record. So the thing is, he's going very high in one area, the effing area, okay? But he scored so low in the other areas, you would never be involved with him. Are we all on the same page here so far? Okay, good. I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this. I think many times women want to have a relationship so badly that they will overlook one particular area. I'm going to tell you what the area is, too. Sex. I think when it comes down to marriage, women do not put a high priority on sex. And I tend to believe that the guys with very low total scores, but scored very highly in the sex area, those are the best guys you were ever with. Those are the hottest guys you ever did. But you're never going to marry the ski instructor, the tennis instructor, the out-of-work musician, the actor, the poet, the guy who taught you how to body surf out in Kauai. You're never going to, the guy at Club Med who was the social director. You're not going to marry any of these guys because they're never going to stop effing everybody. You, your best friend, everybody you know, they're effing everybody who comes along, and you know it. And you don't even care. But when you decide you want to settle down with one person, you look at that total score. So when you find a guy who's a nice guy, again, this is when you're settling down, or you want to settle down. You find a guy who's a nice guy, a confident guy, a guy with a good job, a guy who works hard. When you find a guy who treats you nicely, when you find a guy who's thoughtful and remembers your birthday and your anniversaries and all that stuff, when you find a guy who scores high in all the other areas, if he scores really low in the sex area or the attractiveness area, and that's why we talk about women being with homely guys who have cashola or other things going for them, I believe that you will say, you know what, sex, low priority. I'll take all the other good qualities of this guy, and I have to accept the idea that the guys who are the best at sex are the guys you were at Club Med with for the weekend. The guys who you ran away to France with for a week. The guys who, there you were in Vegas at a hotel, you got really drunk. They came from the roulette table, they looked like Fabio, okay? Those are the guys you could never marry, all right? But they're the guys that you think about, you fantasize about when you're effing the nice guy you're with today. Those are the guys you think about and you realize, you know what? It's like they put those jerseys up on the wall at the Hall of Fame, and they hang up the numbers at the ballpark or whatever. That part of your life, you've pretty much retired, having wild-ass sex, stuff that's crazy, wild, insane, nuts, great. Because the bottom line is what you really want ultimately is someone who will reliably pay the bills, sire your children, somebody who will, show up at home every night at 6:30 for dinner. You know who I'm talking about, ladies. Maybe his name isn't Poindexter, but you know that he's a lot more reliable, dependable, stable person than the wild-ass MFs that you were going out with and banging the crap out of before. So I don't know what FICO stands for, but if there was a FICO score like they have for mortgages, if there was a FICO score for guys, ladies, when you are ready to settle down, you will take the guy who scores high in certain areas. And if he scores low in the sex area, you will still accept it. Now, by the way, as a guy, I couldn't be with somebody I didn't love to F, and I couldn't be with somebody who didn't love to F me. These are priorities for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Anytime I'm with somebody, they have to love sex with me. You know what? I'm not for everybody. Whatever it is I do in the bedroom, you know, some people would love it. Some people would say, so what? And some people would hate it. Some people hate the way I look. Some people don't care. Some people like it. Whatever. The bottom line is that if somebody doesn't love effing me, I don't want to be with them. Don't. But I think women have different priorities than men do. And I do believe that women, you know, we always talk about the girls' nights out and the trips to Cabo and the trips to Europe and all that. We talk about that stuff all the time. The women who, you know, they have their fun, as they say, I've had my fun, now I'm going to get married. And they are willing to settle for guys who just can't get it done in the sack. For guys who are okay. For example, I've known women for whom sex is important because they need to get laid. Like, they need to have an orgasm, and they don't want a vibrator. They want a guy effing. But it really doesn't matter if it's the guy they're with or the last guy they were with or some other guy. You know, they need a certain amount of sex, and they need to get there. Right? By the same token, I think a woman is willing to say, hey, this is a nice guy with a good job. He'll make a good parent. And so sex isn't all that important. And I think men and women have a different attitude about that. I think for men, sex is critical. And I think for women, the way they see it is, all right, I'm going to have my fun from like 14 to 25 or whatever, and then I'm going to find a guy who scores high in all areas, and if that one area of sex is deficient, I'll take the guy anyway because he fulfills so many other needs. That I'll just live with that. And besides, when I have babies, I'm not going to want to have sex anyway, and the kids are a priority, and I'll be sore, and my nipples will be sore, and I don't feel like it, and so it'll all work out anyway. If I don't like sex all that much, hey, you know, I'm just not going to be in the mood for it anyway. So it's no big deal. I had my fun. I had the guys that I effed 12 times in a day in the past, and those days are now over. All right? I'm not imagining this, am I?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Tom is a talk master, so you can't get on this radio and say certain things to him because he's going to eat your lives.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's our telephone number. Robin on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Pretty good, Robin.
Good, good. Just want to make sure you're okay.
I am.
Listened to you for a long time. Never called.
Cool. I got 30 seconds. Let's go for it.
Just want to let you know, woman gets older, and all she wants to do is have their fun at night.
Yeah, but they don't think about that when they're in their 20s, right?
No, we don't. No, you're right. All we want to do is settle down and have kids. But once you've had your kids and you get divorced, all you want is to have sex every day.
I want to make a recommendation to all the women out there, and if you disagree with me, call me. Do not marry a guy unless you absolutely love to F him. If you don't, dump him.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Vanessa, here on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Do you care?
Of course I do.
I'm doing great.
I'm very excited to talk to you.
As well you should be.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I think probably 99.9% of women sacrifice passion for stability, and that is something I will never do because I did it once. I'll never do it again.
Really?
Yes. I settled down with a guy for 5 years, and he was wonderful. I loved him very much, and we had good sex, but it wasn't like, you know?
Yeah.
That's my number one from now on. If
I happen to believe that, and by the way, I just want to say this in general. I happen to believe that if you love having sex with somebody, they know it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't get enough of them. You're all over them. You're calling them at work saying, when are you going to get home? I need you now. You know. So, guys, if you're not getting that, this might be why.
Yep.
And you did that.
I did it, unfortunately. I mean, the sex was good, but yeah.
Did he ever ask you, like, how you liked sex with him, or where he stood with you, or anything like that?
Not really. You know,
didn't care.
He'd be like, was that good, baby? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And when did you finally come to grips with reality?
When I met someone else who made me feel that way.
You met someone else, so you were, like, married?
No. Actually, I had already broken up with this person, but we were still kind of seeing each other, and then I met this new person who made me feel that, you know?
Yeah.
So I was done with the other one pretty fast.
Yeah, but I just don't think that women will say to a guy, you know what, I've had better.
Right, of course. We don't want to hurt their poor little egos. You know?
Right, exactly. Unbelievable. Vanessa, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate the call. This is L on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, L. Are you there?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, L.
Hi. I can't believe I'm on the phone with you.
Really?
Yeah. How are you?
Do you care?
Yes, I do. I'm so excited to talk to you. It's unreal.
I'm doing great.
Awesome. So I agree with you, but what's the alternative is my question. I'm with a guy, he's my best friend, but he says he doesn't have a strong libido. I met a guy, had vacation sex in Hawaii with him.
So in other words, you were with this guy, the nice guy,
Yeah.
who doesn't have a libido, and then you had like girls' night out, you went to Hawaii on a girls' vacation?
Exactly. Your favorite spot, Moose's
Uh-huh.
in Maui.
Mm-hmm.
And, had great, this guy taught me how to masturbate.
He taught you how to masturbate.
Yeah, that's how good his touch was.
Really?
And so I went back a couple times and saw him several times. He even made me break up with my boyfriend.
Really?
And he's great. But he'll never call me. And nothing will come about it. But, I'm willing to settle down with my boyfriend.
So, wait a minute, though. What happens to the intimacy you have with your boyfriend, knowing that you had vacation sex with somebody else who was better in bed than he was?
Well, at first, because this affair kind of with the Hawaii guy, it lasted like 3-4 years.
Right.
At first, you could tell I wasn't into my boyfriend. But I broke up, and I kind of dated around and just realized that I wasn't going to find anyone that scored as high as my current boyfriend in all the other areas.
So you agree with my assessment that women kind of look at it like a scoring system?
Yes.
And you kind of look at that total score and you say, you know what, if I have to do without sex, I'll take all the other stuff.
Right.
But then you go on vacation and you have somebody else.
Yes, and I feel like a total heel because I'm cheating on my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But yet he F's me so good.
So,
what do you do?
Well,
why are all the jerks the guys that, give it to you good?
It's what I always say. You love jerks.
Yeah, it's true.
I know. That's
true.
why I tell guys to be jerks. Because being the nice guy ends up being like your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Sitting there in L.A. going, have a good time in Hawaii, honey, you and the girls. I know you'll have a great time. Idiot.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now,
before, too.
I will never, ever be in a relationship with a woman who goes on vacation with the girls, a girl, or anything else. No. I'd rather be alone. Huh? I would rather be alone.
Yeah, but so what do I do? Am I settling with my current boyfriend?
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? And this is your problem, and it's going to be a problem for you, okay?
Okay.
You owe it to the guy you're with to dump him, because if you don't love effing him, and he doesn't love effing you, it's the wrong relationship.
But he doesn't love effing anybody.
That's his problem.
So I'm 33. And what? I start all over again?
Wait a minute. Well, why don't you tell him that you need to have an open relationship where you can go on vacation and have other people all the time?
Yeah.
And see if he wants to stay around for that.
My mom did that.
Your mom did that.
Hey, you got to blow me up because my battery's giving out. You're awesome, Tom. I'm so happy to speak to you.
Thank you, Al. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Gina on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi.
Hi.
Tom, frequent listener, first time caller.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm definitely the woman that you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah, I've been going out with this guy for 2.5 years, and he's great. He scores great on almost every single list that you were talking about there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the problem is there's just not enough sex. There's never been enough sex.
And is the sex as good as what you've had in the past?
I have had better, but he's really good.
He's really good. He just doesn't like sex all that much.
I guess not.
How often do you get it from him?
Pardon me?
How often do you get it from him?
Maybe once a month, sometimes.
Once a month?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of like, at least that's the way it is right now.
Really?
But generally for the 2 years, it's been once a week, and it's only once a week.
No.
You know how in a lovemaking session, sometimes there's 3 times, sometimes there's more. With him, it's 1.
Really?
So, yeah, it's definitely not enough. He knows that.
And what are you going to do about it? You're effing other guys, right?
Pardon me?
You're effing other guys?
No, actually, I've never cheated on him.
So you're having sex 12 times a year?
Yeah, and I still have to pay for birth control. That really sucks. So it's technically working.
What a waste of time. You ought to just figure out when you're not ovulating and tell them that's your day. There you go.
It's a definite uneven ratio. But, yeah, I've been meaning to call you forever. I listen to you, and I just think about calling you and just saying, you know, can you help me out here? Like, tell me if maybe I'm doing something stupid for staying with this guy, because I am not getting enough sex, but I do know that I have a very high sex drive.
But you will, well, if that's true, you will eventually F around on him.
So, well, I don't think so, because he's been everything to me.
Dear, you're only 24 years old. You're not even at your sexual peak yet.
Is it possible that his sex drive could change?
It only goes down for most men.
Really?
By the way, let me tell you something else that I truly believe. Except in rare instances, and I think they're rare, okay? I think the first 3 months are the best you ever get.
Wow.
That's the hottest it gets.
That's scary.
And from there, it only goes down.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty hot for 3 months. I was very satisfied.
Yeah, but it's pretty hot, what, once a month?
Pardon me? No. In the first 3 months, it was good, but now it's just...
How often were you getting it the first 3 months?
I'd probably get it almost every other night, because we used to work together. So when we worked together, we would go home together, we would drink together, we would do everything together. But then it was just too much. And he gave me the old, we need to back off. Seeing each other every day is just too much.
Wow.
So, and we're still working through that, so.
Well, you know what? If you have a high sex drive, you will not tolerate that forever.
You don't think so, eh?
Nope.
Well, I just thought I'd call in and say peace out. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Gina. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Julie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Julie.
What's up, Tom?
Not much, Julie.
I totally agree with that chick L. That is definitely how it goes. There are guys that rate wonderful, you know. You want to marry them. You can see them having kids with them. And they'll pay their bills on time. You'll have a nice house and a nice car, and you'll be stable. But nothing is exciting at home.
Right.
And I don't get that. Where are the guys that are the total package?
Right. Well, there aren't any. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean,
and you know what? It's sad when you're like, come on, let's do it again. And
see, I think the better women are in bed, the crazier they are.
Yeah.
The better men are in bed, the more irresponsible they are.
And the worst part is that I go somewhere else to get it. Because it's just not...
So you have a relationship with somebody, but you're having sex with somebody else on the side?
Yes.
All right, now tell me about the guy who is your boyfriend, or whatever you call him.
He is a boyfriend. He's very sweet. Always is taking care of me, looking out for me, but there's just no sparks. There's no... I mean, it's good, but it's
no
not...
chemistry?
Well, there's chemistry, but it's not like, you know, the hair on the back of my neck stands up or, you know.
Now, do you tell him?
I tell him what I need. I tell him, babe, I like this, I like that. But,
And when he can't get the job done, do you tell him he didn't get the job done?
Oh, yeah, I tell him that I masturbate. I tell him.
The fact that you masturbate doesn't mean he didn't get the job done.
I do tell him when he does it. I do.
You tell him when it's good.
Yeah, I tell him when
But you don't tell him that he is generally inadequate.
No.
And why not?
Because he does score pretty high and everything else, and...
But how can you have a relationship with this great, sweet guy and then F other guys on the side?
Well, you know what? I try and tell him, this is what I want. I want you to tie me up. Let's do it a different way. Let's do this or that. And I... Away for the weekend. The girl vacation.
Oh, yeah, the girl vacation excuse.
Yeah.
And where do you say you're going on vacation? What kind of places?
To Mexico, Las Vegas.
And where are you really, like Van Nuys?
No, I actually go to those places.
With this guy?
Or I'll meet someone.
So you're effing more than one guy.
Well, yeah.
Now you said, but first you denied it, and now the truth comes out.
I guess anonymity brings out the truthfulness in people.
So you never plan, that's your thing. You're going to stay with the nice guy, and you're going to keep effing other guys on the side, so you're satisfied, and you're going to have your cake and eat it too, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of guys out there are very naive to the fact that a lot of women do that.
Oh, I agree with you.
All the time.
I'm the first one to agree with you, dear. You are right about that. Guys don't think the women they're with look at other guys, much less F other guys. And, yes, that whole thing, girls and I going on vacation. Julie, when I tell you I mean this, never, ever will I be in a relationship with a woman I'm with takes her own trips with the girls.
And I'm
never.
I'm not a number 10. I'm not a 10, but I seem to still attract men and still get that wild, crazy kind of sex,
Because you're open all night. You know what I mean.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
When somebody hits you, that's the day you leave.
You can't because it's your heart. I know it's like your head's not working, but your heart is.
Oh, my God. Your head's not working because you got punched in the face.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. It's Ann on a cell phone. Hello.
Hello?
Is that a question or a statement, Ann?
It's a question.
Oh, how do you answer that question? Hello? Question.
I don't know. I love you, Tom.
Thank you, Ann.
How are you?
Do you care?
Yes, I do, sweetie.
I'm doing great.
All right, bottom line, great topic. I've been a listener for about 2 years, and I agree with everything you say. I'm actually in a relationship. I'm engaged. I've been engaged for a year. Been with a guy for 5 years. Sex is horrible, and I'm sleeping with any hot guy that I actually come around.
Why are you engaged?
I don't know.
You're going to make him miserable, and most importantly, you're going to make you miserable.
I know, and I'm in LA 9, too.
What are you doing?
I don't know. You know what? Actually, I hit up Gino. Actually, I wanted to meet up with him one night. He's hot.
There you go. Did you meet up with him?
No, I didn't. Something came up.
Something came up?
Yeah.
That's what Dino was trying to tell you.
So what should I do?
Break up with your fiancé.
I tried. He told me he was going to commit